Hello, and welcome to the third installment of Crafting Corner Conversations. How y'all doing? It is first Friday of the third month of this new year, honey. Let me know in the comments. Y'all all right? It's okay if you're not, because ups and downs. But listen, this whole series for first quarter kind of just trying to get you to expand your crafting business so you can get some extra revenue coming in. And so January, we talked about pretty much what everybody kind of has or has known about is your cutting machine. So we talked about the various streams of revenue you could actually essentially have if you have a cutting machine. In February, we talked about apparel basics. So I gave you some of my top vendors and things of that nature and vendors for apparel, for vinyl, and other things like that in order to help you along the way, kind of like a part two. Now, here is a part three for sublimation, okay? So, a lot of people may not want to invest as much as you want to invest into like a Cricut or a Silhouette machine and all the things that come with it. So, sublimation is going to be another technique you could utilize in order to create various things to bring in revenue. All right, let's get to it. Sublimation essentials. So, if you don't already know, my name is Jamisa Hodges. I am CEO and creator of By J Creates LLC, where we specialize in bringing your business to life one customization at a time. Now, that could mean custom apparel, that could mean custom courses, that could mean custom consultations. All C's, we're here for you. We just want to bring a smile to your face and make the process a lot smoother and easier. All right, let's get into it. What is sublimation? Long story short, sublimation is honestly just the process to transfer high quality designs to various items. So these items, I might call them substrates throughout this webinar, but they're the same thing. So this could mean t-shirts, mugs, phone cases, metal, wood, different things. That is what a substrate is. It's an item that you will be transferring the image to. Now with sublimation, these items have to be real particular. We'll get into the nitty gritty of what type of items very shortly. So pretty much you have a special ink and you have special paper. When combined and you add heat, it will actually transfer permanently to the substrate, okay? So that means no peeling, no cracking, no fading. It is a permanent transfer. So if you like science, the nitty gritty of it all, once you have that special ink, special paper, put your image onto the paper, and once you apply heat, you actually are creating a gas that is then combined to the substrate or to sublimate. So it's applied to the substrate of polyester. Okay, so you have a poly coating or a poly fiber that you're actually the gaseous ink combo is actually being added to. Okay, so that's actually how it works and how it actually adds on to the poly. So it does have to be polyester, okay, or a sublimation friendly product. Okay, all right, next up, let's talk about the benefits. All right, next slide here. So benefits of subbing. Okay, so first and foremost, versatility. We just talked about it. You have various substrates you can utilize, especially if they're poly coated. And listen, you can actually turn some things into poly coated items. All right, so just so you know, that broadens the versatility aspect. Okay, next up we have durability. We already talked about that. No peeling, no fading. It's gonna last a lifetime. It's permanent. Okay, long as you follow that right technique. Cost effective. So sublimation can be more affordable, so that's why I also want to make sure I did this webinar for you. A lot of the other printing methods can be a bit more costly. So this cost-effective option for you, sublimation, great way to get started, bringing in revenue. Okay, last but not least, customization. Okay, kind of a combination of all other three, but sublimation actually allows you to add those highly detailed images and unique designs to your substrate. Okay, So I know for sometimes, like with vinyl, we talked about previous months, those thinner lines, those more intricate images are a pain to weed out, okay? So it's best to go with something like a transfer of sorts or sublimation. All right. Next up, you want probably wondering, what do I need to get started? Like, you already gave me a gist, but I need to know details. I need to know what to get. All right. So we already talked about the 5 items you need: printer, ink, paper, heat press, and blanks. So printer. I love my Eco Tank. Actually, I'm gonna look behind me really quickly. Uh, yeah, this is the No, I have the model under this one. I have the EcoTank ET4700. This is one up. The only difference is I have a back feeder and this one is a top feeder. That's the only difference between these two printers, okay? Everything else is identical, but honestly, there are EcoTanks lower than this one, all right? Um, so why EcoTank? Why this one? I already have a printer. You can convert your printer, you just can't use regular ink. So you will have to go through a flushing system in order to convert your regular laser ink printer into a sublimation printer, okay? You cannot use your printer as is. So my honest suggestion is just to start fresh, start from scratch, so you don't have to worry about any error or messing up the printer. Just get a fresh brand new printer. So I say EcoTank because these are new top of the line printers, honey. So with this printer, listen, you lift this latch at the top here, and all you're doing is so you see where the ink levels is, the 4 ink levels. It's a latch up top. You open it, and essentially this ink will come with your printer. You will not use this ink. You will not use this ink that comes with the printer. Sublimation ink for these EcoTank printers, they come in bottles just like this. You essentially just turn the bottle upside down into its respective corridor and watch the ink flow down. Okay, so I love this so much better because you don't have to worry about ink cartridges. Is anything actually in there? Is it not? Is it dry? You don't have to worry about this. That the ink stays in here is very compact, tight. It does not dry, and I've had mine for 2 years now. It has not dried yet. Okay. I might have refilled it a couple times. The black goes out a lot quicker, but you actually get more. You're able to put more in. So for the black, so it's totally fine. But black, you're gonna run out a lot quicker. At least for me, I usually do. So I usually have to refill the black, which is normal for any printer. You're always gonna use more black, because it's within the undertones of all the other colors at science. So essentially, EcoTank, doesn't matter which model, that's gonna be your best bet. Okay, you're probably wondering where to get sublimation ink. I'm always gonna say Amazon. Amazon's great, but also if you want to support black, there are a couple of black vendors out there, small businesses. May not seem so small on the outside looking, but they did start from humble beginnings. But one in particular that's come to mind that I use all the time is Cassie's. Her business is Blanks Galore. Awesome. Honestly, if you don't know who Cassie is, please look her up. Blanks Galore. Her story is admirable. From quitting her job to living in a pretty much a hotel, making blanks, making making vinyl shirts, and building that business up to $1 million business, if not multi-million. And she has courses. She's all about advocating for other crafters to come in and support and building their brands and businesses up as well. So I applaud her 1,000%. Her ink, that BG ink and BG paper, A1. It's really good. And I'm not getting paid to say that. It's really good. But shout out to Blanks Galore. I've been following her for years, even before I got into all the things. And she's definitely been a great help. Just watching her grow as a being as well. So her ink and her paper, sublimation paper. So you also can get sublimation paper from Amazon as well. Avery, I believe, has sublimation paper, and they have different sizes. And so you have options. You have options. And there's one more. I am drawing a blank. It is a guy. He has a company as well. And he sells the ink. I actually purchased from him first. And then later down, Cassie got her ink. And her paper. But if it comes to me, I will add it. If you want to know, just ask me in the comments and I'll get that for you. I have the box. Cosmo Ink, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's the name. I have like the logo in my head. I want to say it's Cosmo Ink. Cosmo Ink, if I'm not mistaken. All right, cool. So you got your printer. You can get that from anywhere. Home Depot, Office Depot, Sam's, Target. It's available anywhere, okay? You can get that there. Then ink, you get it from those places. Paper, you get it from those places. Now, heat press. I actually have this heat press right here. It's a Hottronics. You do not have to pay thousands of dollars for a heat press. Don't do it. You're starting out. You don't have to worry about that. Amazon sells some pretty decent heat presses. Okay. Cricut. It's a hand press. For sublimation, I would not much so recommend, only because you need to have the right amount of pressure with sublimation. It's not like vinyl or you can just roll it up across. You actually need actual pressure. You need to gauge it's called PSI. So you need to actually gauge that pressure point, okay? With sublimation, if you want that ink to transfer like effortlessly, yeah, you need pressure. So you see how this one actually has the pressure gauge, it has a temp gauge, it has everything I need, and the timer. So it has everything I need, and it has the space that I need in order to succeed. So Amazon actually has comparable and reasonably priced heat presses. But if you want something that is going to last a long time but is cheaper and not thousands of dollars, stick with Hottronics. So if you go to stahls.com, stahls.com, again, not being paid to give promo, stahls.com, just click on heat presses that have a varying amount, and you want to essentially look for I feel like it's an A to Z. I think that's the name of it, but it's a color. It's gonna be a color. It's like a blue or a pink, and that's a good beginner one, a beginner heat press. If you like to know like a couple other beginner heat presses, just ask me in the comments, and I'll be sure to help and to answer that. But if you're really just trying to get started, do not overspend. Get you some revenue in first. Last but not least, you gotta put the images on something, so you gotta have your blanks. So again, remember, polyester, poly-coated, or sublimation-friendly blanks. Now, this is actually a lunchbox that I actually have and sublimated. Beautiful. It's like a neoprene, okay. And then you have actually, let me just show you. So with sublimation, I've actually done pop sockets in this top right corner, pop sockets. I've done a lot of mats, a lot of door mats, okay? These three, actually all of these are actually, I guess you could say, commissioned pieces. They're made for different clients. Actually, this campsite one was actually a recreation. Someone I didn't even know, lived in a different state, reached out and was curious if I could recreate this design for them, but for their family. And that's exactly what I did with similar images. And look how wonderful that ink transferred over. Now, we'll say when it's in the sun, these particular ones, doormats, they will fade over time. I will just say that. But when it's on shirts or mugs, you don't have that issue. These are some masks that I made. Marissa Akery she's a realtor. She actually sent me her design, and I did her some masks and a pop socket. I actually designed a couple of Greek-inspired designs, and I put them on masks. And I was a church for next shift for Big Bethel AME, got me to make mugs for them. And that's pretty much it. And I do have some more. So remember polyester, poly-coated, or sublimation-friendly items. Okay, so I have these beautiful, super soft poly blankets that I actually did for babies. So I had Actually did this one twice. So I did one for my goddaughter Brooklyn. I did the same exact combo. I did a onesie with the matching blanket, with the roses. Literally just found a couple PNGs that I liked, arranged them how I wanted, found some font that I liked, and put them, designed them in Photoshop, and went to town and created these designs here. BGO podcast actually wanted giveaways, so I did a mask and a shirt, both 100% polyester. Had a Christmas order, um, did a polyester option there. Um, if you and also DTF is another technique that you could also do in order to achieve the same type of vibe for apparel. I also did an ornament. So it actually comes with a disc that is poly coated, and you just press your design onto it and then place the disc in a sense um, to the ornament. Okay. And then of course more tumblers. I couldn't find the one I did. I actually did like a collage tumbler for a good friend of mine, Jasmine. And it had pictures of her and her family, her children. Just a cute little keepsake. So sublimation is really good for photos, okay, and keepsakes. And of course I had to get that go on a canvas. So canvas, you can sublimate onto canvas, but you have to seal it. So after you sublimate it, you have to put, it's a whole process. You have to put like a sheet cover on top and then seal that to it so it can actually stay on. It's a whole thing. But back to the printers. So to the, I'm sorry, the heat presses. So the tumblers, you're like, I can't put a tumbler on this heat press. You can actually, I know Cricut has a mug press. I actually have done mugs as well. You can do a mug. You can do a mug press. But it's gonna be cheaper for you to just get a convection oven. You do not want an oven you will be using for food. Again, this is a chemical process. It is creating gas, okay? You do not want to mix food with that. So it should just be solely a convection oven specifically for your sublimation projects, okay? So I have an oyster one, and it is a front loading one. They also have the bigger ones where you open like that, but I just have a small one. I just open straight out. I get me a little baking timer in there, and I'm good to go, okay? And there are different techniques you can follow for when to rotate and things like that. You can also do shot glasses. They do have sublimation shot glasses as well. But that is how you achieve your round objects, okay? So that you won't put in the heat press. All right, so, but how can I get the designs? You're going to use Photoshop, Silhouette Studio, or Corel Draw. Now, I'm not familiar with Corel Draw, I will be honest, but Adobe Photoshop and Silhouette Studio, honey, I am all over it. Silhouette Studio is free. Do not go out buying Photoshop if you don't even know how to use it really or all of that stuff, okay? Because that's $30 a month. Silhouette Studio is free for the basic version. That's all you need, okay? Essentially, you're wanting those two items mainly so you can slice your photo up to fit on your whatever size printer paper that your printer sublimation paper that you use, okay? So if you got an 8.5 by 12 sheet, but your image is huge or your substrate is huge, you will literally have to piece each one together. So Adobe Photoshop and Silhouette Studio are great for that, okay? And you just print it to send it to your printer to print, and you just take them all together and go to town. All right, here just some screenshots of me using a demo and actually in Photoshop putting the designs on there, okay? So one sublimation question we get all the time in all the blogs, everything. You're gonna see the same question over and over again. Can I sublimate on black? It is not recommended because you will not see the image, okay? Yeah, you feel free, but you won't see the image. White or light colored items will work best. Now, if you don't have 100% polyester, next best bet is going to be the heather shirts. So if you go to Bella Canvas, brand of shirts, they have what's called a soft, Gildan. Gildan brand has a soft style shirt. They have heather. The heather colors are actually about, I want to say like 95, 90% polyester. They have a high poly count. They're great for sublimation. You will actually can look into bleaching the area where your design will go. There are YouTube videos on that, and it will be perfect for sublimation. Okay, and I have done that in the past as well for orders. All right. If you have any questions, we are at the end, y'all. So I will leave you with this. If you have any other questions, please just add them in the comments. I'll be happy to answer them. Remember, this is just the basics, what you need to get started, okay? I'm happy to help any way possible. If you're looking to get started on this sublimation journey, okay? If you like to see more things that I've made with sublimation, just let me know. I'll get with you one on one, or I'll add them in the comments. But honestly, it is a very affordable technique to incorporate into your crafting business. And if I left anything off, or you just are just curious, talk to me. That's what I'm here for. All right. So once again, just stay connected to us both on Creative Studio Academy and byjcreates.com. We have more active on our By J Creates page because we're still figuring things out, how the direction we want to go with CSA, but they are all one entity. So hey, just reach out to us wherever you see fit. We got some great things along the way, okay? We are not sure if we will be going on in April for C3, but I will keep you posted. Stay tuned. Link in bio will be where we will have it, the Eventbrite. So we may start back in May. But I want to hear from y'all. What topics would you be interested in? This is for y'all, not for me. I want y'all to succeed. So I want to make sure that I'm giving y'all information that will be helpful for you all to reach the next level. All right, that's my time, y'all. Hope y'all got something from this and excited to reach the next level. Stay crafty.